The shredder's mechanical teeth were still chewing through the last pieces of my passport when Victoria started laughing. She held up the ribbons of what used to be my photo page, confetti-thin strips of my identity floating to the floor like snow. "Roaches don't deserve wings," she said, dusting her hands with theatrical satisfaction. "Did you really think we'd let you abandon us for some fantasy job in Singapore?" It was 11 p.m. My flight was at 6 a.m. 5 years of applications, interviews, and rejections had led to this moment. A senior marketing position with an international firm, full relocation package, a salary that would quintuple what I made at the local grocery store. And my 27-year-old sister had just destroyed my passport with the same casual cruelty she'd shown when she cut up my prom dress, deleted my college applications, and burned my art portfolio. "That took 2 months to expedite," I said, keeping my voice steady as I watched my travel document become expensive confetti. "The visa alone cost more than you're worth," Mom interrupted from the doorway, wine glass in hand as always. "Your place is scrubbing our floors, not seeing the world. Someone has to take care of this house while the rest of us have actual careers." "Victoria lives here and doesn't work," I pointed out. "She's an influencer," Dad said, appearing behind Mom. "Building her brand takes time. You wouldn't understand." Victoria pined, flipping her bleached hair. Her brand consisted of 3,000 bot followers and bikini pics our parents funded. At 27, she'd never held a job, never paid rent, never done anything but document her parents' money being spent. "Besides," Mom continued, "you just embarrass us overseas. What if someone important found out we had a daughter scrubbing toilets in Singapore? At least here we can control the narrative." I looked at the shredder, still warm from destroying my future. 5 years I'd been planning this escape. 5 years of overnight shifts, online courses, building skills they mocked. Excel certification. Who needs that? Marketing analytics? Just marry someone who understands business. "Nothing to say," Victoria taunted. "Usually you're so full of big dreams and bigger words. Cat got your tongue? Or should I say roach got your wings?" She laughed at her own joke. Our parents joined in, 3 people who shared my DNA, celebrating the destruction of my dreams like they'd won a prize. "You're right," I finally said. "I don't deserve wings. I deserve the whole damn sky." They stopped laughing, suspicious of my calm. "I deserve the whole damn sky," I repeated. "Don't be dramatic," Dad scoffed. "You'll call Singapore tomorrow, explain there's a family emergency, and that will be that. They'll understand. These things happen." "No, I won't," I said. "You can't travel without a passport, genius. That's kind of the whole point of shredding it." I smiled then, really smiled for the first time in 24 years. I felt the pure joy of being 10 steps ahead of people who'd always underestimated me. "You're absolutely right," I said. "I can't travel without a passport. Good thing I have 2. The silence was beautiful. "That's impossible," Mom said. "Dual citizenship requires a parent born abroad. Like Dad in Canada, which makes me eligible for Canadian citizenship by descent. I applied 3 years ago," I explained. "The passport came last month. It's been sitting in a safety deposit box along with everything else you've tried to destroy over the years." Victoria's face went white. "You're lying." "Am I?" I asked. "While you were building your brand with Mom and Dad's credit cards, I was building an escape route. Every document you've destroyed, I had copies. Every opportunity you sabotaged, I had backups. Every time you thought you were clipping my wings, I was growing new ones." "Even if that's true," Dad said, his voice taking on a dangerous edge, "you're not leaving. I'll call the airline. Cancel your ticket." "With what information?" I challenged. "You don't know my booking reference. You don't even know which airline. Do you know why?" "Because you never asked. Not once in 5 years did any of you ask about my dreams, my plans, my life beyond these walls. I was invisible to you, except when you needed someone to clean, cook, or blame." "We'll report your passport stolen," Mom threatened. "Have you stopped at the airport?" "Report which passport stolen?" I asked. "The American one that Victoria just destroyed on camera? Or the Canadian one you didn't know existed? Either way, you'd be filing a false police report. That's a crime. But hey, if you want to add criminal charges to the list of what you've done, destroying your daughter's documents," I pulled out my phone and showed them the upload screen. 47 minutes of footage. Victoria destroying my passport, you all laughing. The audio is crystal clear. Roaches don't deserve wings. Your place is scrubbing our floors. Really powerful stuff. I'm sure it'll do great on social media. You wouldn't dare, Victoria hissed. I already did, I said. Scheduled to post at 6 a.m., right when my flight takes off. Unless what? Dad asked through gritted teeth. Nothing. There's no unless. Post no matter what. I just wanted you to know it's coming. Call it a going away present. I walked to my room, the converted laundry closet they'd graciously allowed me to occupy, and grabbed my single suitcase. Already packed had been for a week. Where do you think you're going? Mom shrieked. Airport hotel. My real friends. Yes, I have those. I threw her a little smile. They threw me a going away party earlier. Sarah's been holding my luggage so you couldn't destroy that too. Amy's driving me to the airport at 3 a.m. Turns out when you treat people with respect they help you. Wild concept, I know. Victoria spat. Friends? What friends would want? The ones who see me as more than a roach. The ones who celebrated when I got this job instead of trying to destroy it. The ones who know my worth isn't measured by how small I can make myself to make you feel bigger. I headed for the door but Dad blocked it. You walk out now, you're dead to us. No inheritance, no family, nothing. What inheritance? I shot back. The debt you've accumulated funding Victoria's lifestyle, the mortgage you refinanced 3 times, the retirement you cashed out for her failed boutique, failed jewelry line, failed everything. I've seen the bills you hide. I know you're broke. The only thing you had left to give me was pain. And you've been generous with that my whole life. You need us, Mom said desperately. You can't survive overseas alone. You'll come crawling back in a month begging, the ones who see me as more than a roach. The ones who celebrated when I got this job instead of trying to destroy it. The ones who know my worth isn't measured by how small I can make myself to make you feel bigger. I headed for the door but Dad blocked it. You walk out now, you're dead to us. No inheritance, no family, nothing. What inheritance? I shot back. The debt you've accumulated funding Victoria's lifestyle, the mortgage you refinanced 3 times, the retirement you cashed out for her failed boutique, failed jewelry line, failed everything. I've seen the bills you hide. I know you're broke. The only thing you had left to give me was pain. And you've been generous with that my whole life. You need us, Mom said desperately. You can't survive overseas alone. You'll come crawling back in a month begging. Like I begged when Victoria destroyed my scholarship applications. Like I begged when you told my ex-boyfriend I was mentally unstable so he'd break up with me. Like I begged when you charged me rent for a closet while Victoria lived in the master suite for free. I'm done begging. I'm done shrinking. I'm done being your roach. I pushed past Dad. He could have stopped me. He was bigger, stronger. But something in my eyes made him step aside. Maybe he saw that the daughter he'd broken had reformed into something harder. Maybe he realized that keeping me would be more dangerous than letting me go. Victoria followed me to the door, desperate now. What about my content? You're supposed to edit my videos. Edit them yourself. Or better yet, create content worth watching. Here's a free idea. How I destroyed my sister's passport and ruined my own life. That should get great engagement. You'll fail, she called after me. You'll be nothing overseas, just another loser trying to be special. I turned back one last time maybe. But I'd rather fail reaching for the sky than succeed at scrubbing your floors. The Uber was already waiting. As we pulled away, I saw them in the doorway. 3 people who'd spent my entire life trying to cage me, furious that I'd learned to fly without their permission. The video posted right on schedule. By the time I landed in Singapore 14 hours later, it had gone viral. Family shreds daughter's passport to stop dream job, spread across platforms like wildfire. The comments were brutal. The sister is 27 and destroying passports. Roaches don't deserve wings. Who says that to family? The parents funding the failure while charging rent for success. Make it make sense. Victoria's influencer career imploded overnight. Brands don't want to associate with someone who destroys their siblings' opportunities. Her bot followers couldn't save her from the real ones flooding her comments with roach emojis. She went private within hours, but screenshots live forever. My parents' business, a small consulting firm that relied on their family values reputation, took a massive hit. Turns out, clients don't trust people who shred their daughter's passport. Who knew? But the best part? The job was everything I'd dreamed of, and more. Singapore embraced me in ways my family never had. My colleagues became my chosen family. My tiny apartment felt like a palace compared to that laundry closet. My salary allowed me to save more in 6 months than I'd managed in 5 years at home. Victoria tried to reconnect a year later. Her message was predictably self-centered. The internet ruined my life. Can't you take the video down? I'm your sister. I responded with a photo from my office window. Singapore's skyline gleaming in the sunset, my reflection showing someone who'd grown wings despite their best efforts to keep me grounded. Sisters don't shred each other's passports. Roaches don't deserve wings. Remember? Good thing I was never a roach. I was a butterfly in a cocoon she tried to destroy. Thanks for the push to finally break free. She sent dozens more messages, apologizing, begging, threatening, cycling through manipulation tactics like a textbook. I archived them all. Evidence of growth I didn't need to prove to anyone but myself. 2 years later, I was promoted to regional director. The announcement included my story, overcoming family sabotage to build an international career. It went viral again, this time in business circles. Motivational speakers reached out. Publishers wanted my story. The girl they called a roach was suddenly inspirational. My parents reached out through a lawyer, demanding compensation for defamation, claiming the video had destroyed their lives. My lawyer's response was beautiful. Your clients destroyed their own lives when they chose to destroy their daughter's passport. The video merely documented their choices. Additionally, my client has evidence of years of financial, emotional, and psychological abuse. Would your clients prefer to discuss this in court? They withdrew their threat immediately. The last update I received from a mutual acquaintance. Victoria still lived at home at 30, no job, no prospects, no followers. My parents worked into their 70s, unable to retire. Their golden child. A permanent drain on resources they no longer had. The house they once deemed too good for me to inherit was in foreclosure. Meanwhile, I write this from my apartment in Bangkok. My 4th international assignment. Tomorrow, I fly to London for a conference where I'm the keynote speaker. My passports, both of them, are safely in my bag along with visas to countries they said I'd never see. They were right about one thing: I did fly away. Just not the way they imagined. Roaches don't deserve wings. But daughters who survive families like mine, we don't just deserve wings. We deserve jet engines. We deserve first-class tickets to everywhere they said we'd never go. We deserve careers in cities they said we'd never see. And when we soar past the ceilings they tried to build for us, when we leave them in the dust of their own destruction, we deserve to never look back. My passport now bears stamps from 23 countries, each one a reminder that the girl they tried to ground learned to fly. Each border crossed is a boundary they can never cross again. Each new city is a fresh start they can't sabotage. They shredded my passport thinking they were clipping my wings. Instead, they freed me from the weight of pretending they were family worth staying for. Roaches don't deserve wings. They were right. Good thing I was never a roach. I was always an eagle. I just needed to leave the nest to learn.